Good evening. My name is Alun, and this evening in my time, I am facilitating a session of Coeur de l'Épée. This was a variation stretch goal on the successful Hearts of Wulin kickstarter. Whereas Hearts of Wulin is set in a mythical China, all very hidden tiger. I've forgotten the other bit about the dragon, but you know what I mean. This is set in France in the mid to late 17th century. This is very much swashbuckling France. This is very much about the Three Musketeers. That kind of genre is what we're aiming for. But with all the social entanglements and conflicted feelings that Hearts of Wulin brings to PBTA. So we've had a swap out of players. This is part of the Gauntlet calendar. We run the Gauntlet RPG community runs hundreds of games every month, and we run an open table. So if someone drops out, someone comes in from our wait list, and today we're lucky to have Alexi with us to stepping up for the last two sessions of 5. This is session 4 of 5. If you don't know about the Gauntlet, please look at almost all the rest of the stuff on my YouTube channel, including the previous episodes of this. I want to cut to the chase and get us started this evening. So let me start then by asking these great players to introduce themselves and tell us briefly something about L'Enfer and perhaps what's going on. So Stephen, say hello. Tell us about L'Enfer.
L'Enfer is the most glamorous actress and most reckless duelist in all of Paris. And quite possibly our fellow character Mateo Betancourt's mother, although that has only been hinted at. It has not yet been firmly established. In the previous session, her rival Victoire Alouette at the Theatre Spectaculaire performed L'Enfer's part in the Cardinal's daughter in a royal performance for the king. But L'Enfer turned the tables by appearing on stage in the guise of the Cardinal and triumphing, vanquishing her rival, establishing once again that she is L'Enfer, the most glamorous actress in all of Paris. Nobody can touch her. Yes, and Theatre of Volo Aventine was accused of dereliction of duty by a sergeant, accused of abandoning his post. Volo was unable to challenge a common soldier, but L'Enfer was under no such constraint, and in a duel with the soldier, she established Volo's innocence. This stranger, it turns out, was actually Nathalie, but
in a perfect disguise.
Right? Yeah, in a perfect disguise. L'Enfer doesn't know that, and then at the end of the session, she appeared at the royal ball wearing a locket emblazoned with the Betancourt coat of arms, which made Isidore Betancourt rather angry for some reason.
I certainly did. L'Enfer is a complicated character, but is good fun. Moving across the character keeper, Leandro, say hello and tell us something about Nathalie de Chemin.
So my name's Leandro, use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Nathalie de Chemin. She, her. She is, well, you asked me to explain her, but she's kind of hard to figure out. While everyone is playing Three Musketeers, she's been playing Assassin's Creed. So she has kind of been trained in spycraft and all that and keeping things close to the chest. She is the last of the Duchemin family, well, as far as she knows, and has been taken in by the Apostles of the New Dawn and basically armored herself in any which way and whatnot to basically make sure that nothing ever gets a drop on her. That doesn't mean that she doesn't get swept away by her emotions. In fact, she spent most of last session helping out the person she's most enamored with, one Simone Rossignol, member of the Firebrands, Nathalie spent a good chunk of that session kind of carrying out her paramour's ridiculous vendetta against Volo Aventine, including, disguising herself as a sergeant and accusing him of a dereliction of duty. That didn't really work out, thanks to a certain reckless theatrical duelist over there. But as far as Nathalie's concerned, everything's on tip-top shape. She's quote-unquote betrothed to someone who is probably honestly far too good for her. And she's moving along pots and pans. It's fine. She's doing grand, all for herself. As much as she kinda is probably not as invested in the French Illuminati, as we call them, as probably her superiors would like.
No, spending far too much time, surreptitiously touching the hand of Simone Rossignol in a way that no one could mistake except as true passion. Yes, last time it was a kind of cross between Assassin's Creed and Good Society, I thought, for Nathalie. Moving along, Sabine, say hello and introduce us to Mateo Betancourt, Nathalie's betrothed.
Hello, I am playing Mateo Betancourt, who is the aforementioned betrothed, no quote unquote here, from his side of the story to Nathalie. He quite likes her. He thinks she's nice for some reason, probably because she wasn't awful. So he's inclined to think she's nice. Sadly, he's also in love with another woman, but, well, things might work out yet. You don't have to be in love with your wife, do you? I mean, not really. I think the French are civilized enough in that way. Well, Mateo is young. He is very sure of himself. I don't know where he gets that from. He does not know who his mother is. He does not know why he was raised in Spain, but he will find out. And he thinks that L'Enfern might know. But last time when he was at a rather intimate meeting with her, he had the feeling that she might be, she might have made advances at him. And she's very well known for a copious amount of lovers, and Mateo does not intend to join this group for now. He has enough troubles with Nathalie and Emily, who is L'Enfern's maid, of course, because of why wouldn't she be? Also, his father is probably a bad guy, but Mateo doesn't realize that for now. He has antagonized some lieutenant because he was snippy at him, and he totally forgot about that and now imagines that he will be the nemesis to great Guy de Robertin, the Cardinal, the captain of the Cardinal's watch. They had a duel, Mateo lost, but, well, this was just the first one, right? There will be others.
It's been an action-packed arrival in Paris for young Mateo. And finally, our new character and our new player, Alexi. Say hello and tell us a little bit about Thibault Moreau.
Hello. So I'm Alexi, he, him. You can follow my gaming endeavors online at Cloven Pine Games if you so desire. So check out Cloven Pine Games on Twitter and my itch.io store, also under the name Cloven Pine Games. I'm excited to be joining in. I have started, work on this character using the Outsider playbook and the Rebel role. So he is Thibault Moreau. I think he's affiliated with the Firebrands, one of these, rival secret societies at work in Paris. The story with Thibault is he's a once dissolute nobleman who experienced a genuine religious awakening on a pilgrimage taken in jest. So now he's joined a secret society out of a zealous drive to scourge the corruption of the Cardinal from the French Catholic Church.
Which is great because I was very keen to have the Cardinal in this game, and so far he's been something of set dressing. So I'm quite looking forward to chewing the carpet as the Cardinal. Okay, so let me go back round. As part of this game, just like Hearts of Wulin, all characters have two entanglements, one general, one romantic. But each session they get a chance to alter those to show the flow of play and how things have changed. And unlike new to this variation on Hearts of Wulin, they also have a nemesis who is always there in the background seeking to make their life difficult. So let's start with Lanfern. How are you feeling about those entanglements?
All right, my general entanglement. I know the truth of Mateo's parentage, but I am bound by a promise to Isidore Betancourt not to reveal it. I keeping that in place. I highlighted it last time as what I wanted to engage with during that session, and we didn't get to it, so I'm highlighting it again. My romantic entanglement. I will do anything to thwart Victoire Alouette, my rival at the Theatre Spectaculaire, but I do not yet realize I am in love with her. Last session, I did in fact realize that I was in love with her, so I will change that entanglement. I am in love with Victoire Alouette, my rival at the Theatre Spectaculaire, and I am unsure whether to embrace or to destroy her, because she is my rival.
Yes. And those of us that know Lanfern may be very worried which way that's going to go. And your nemesis is the aforesaid Colonel Betancourt.
Yes.
And he hates you for your immoral lifestyle and will do anything to ruin and humiliate me. He wants me to beg for mercy and forgiveness. Wow, forgiveness for what? We can only guess.
Yes, well, perhaps if I reveal the truth of Mateo's parentage this session, we may find out. But
dun dun dun. Okay, so you're highlighting the entanglement around Isidore, which I will indeed aim to deliver. Moving on then, what about Nathalie's entanglements?
Yeah, so my general one is I stole something precious from Charles Devray, who is the head of the Theatre Spectaculaire, and what I stole is a coded manuscript with a part for Victoire, which we found out, I think a session or two ago, that manuscript in the code there's like instructions to disseminate unrest amongst the theater's works, basically turn people against those in the monarchy and whatnot. And they blamed my ally Lanfern for that. I think I'll keep that in because I would like to at least tangle with that entanglement once, because I think we have not. So I'll keep that there for now. And my romantic one is I'm enamored by Simone Rossignol, but she wants to enlist me in her vendetta against Volo Aventine. That obviously I will have to change. And I think it'll be simple enough to change since we have a Firebrands member in this with Thibault. And I think we kind of talked about it in the chat, but probably Nathalie in her work as French Illuminati has probably tangled swords with Thibault, and it's going to be quite awkward that I'm quite enamored with a fellow member of the Firebrands. I'm not sure how to word it yet, but I think it's something like I'll figure it out, but it's something to do with Thibault.
I mean, worse than that, Simone is I think the supposed leader of the Firebrands, as I remember. So just contemplate that. When you're just rephrasing that. And your nemesis is your sister Victoire, who we know is the same Victoire Alouette, who is the actress at the Theatre Spectaculaire. But we don't know that in the fiction yet. Okay.
No, she's my older sister who believes I abandoned her to that fire to claim her family. Therefore, she wants to be ruined and ground to dirt in that order. But guess what, sister? I've been playing this game longer than you have, at least as far as I know. In fact, I don't even know you exist, but I've been playing this game for a while. Try and keep up. Just try and keep up. Come on.
Okay. And then Mateo. What are you thinking about your entanglements?
I want more entanglements, but I think I'm stuck with two, right? My father, Cardinal Isidore Betancourt, knows Lanfern, and I will find out if she knew my mother. I will change that to I will find out what she knew about my mother. But other than that, I'm good.
So you're happy to stick with the
love
triangle?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wait. I haven't read it. What she knew about my mother. That's the other one. And I'm promised to the wealthy Nathalie, but I love the commoner Emily. I don't know, but the truth is it works pretty well because it ties me to Nathalie, and also with the whole Emily thing to L'Enfant, and I don't think that switching my affections to this dashing young firebrand now might be weird or not. I don't know. I'm not sure. I will leave that open for now.
Fine.
Because we've still got another session. Who knows?
After this one.
Right?
Absolutely. Okay.
So I'll leave that. And my nemesis is still Captain Jérôme d'Amanville, who I humiliated when coming to town. Well, yeah, in front of everyone. And now he wants to see me humiliated, which is vain. He can't. I mean, come on. He's just a Capitan.
Fine. And so we come to Thibault. Now, Thibault, you will have one bond with your faction, and you will have one bond with a fellow PC. But let's deal with your entanglements first. What are you thinking about a general entanglement at this point?
Yeah, I was thinking over how to bring this character into what we've already got going on, and I was wondering if I might have been tasked by the Firebrands with recruiting the impressionable but well-connected Mateo Betancourt to our cause, and then, given the dynamics already in play, maybe I'm old friends with L'Enfant, who wants me not to recruit Mateo into anything dangerous like that. Does that work for the both of you?
I'm trying to decide if Lowell would be reluctant to have Mateo introduced to something ridiculously dangerous.
I mean, maybe maybe Thibault thinks that she might not be in favor of that because Mateo is the son of her old nemesis or something like that. I mean, let's have a few misunderstandings here.
And I think it's fine as long as you think Lowell will be reluctant. I mean, it's entirely possible that Lowell would be reluctant. That Lowell might have their own plans. So.
Okay, so it's more that I've perhaps I have this task and I want to avoid L'Enfant knowing that this is what I'm doing because she seems so interested in this young this young soldier. I don't want to. That's
fine.
I have a vague recollection of L'Enfant trying to get Volo to get rid of Mateo, i.e. get him out of Paris.
No, I wanted to get him out of the Colonel's regiment.
Okay.
I wanted to remove the Colonel's influence over his career.
Okay. Oh, but obviously the Firebrands want him in the Colonel's regiment because that's where he can, he can advance our agenda.
Oh well, that would definitely be a conflict.
There we go.
Don't you just love the way this game just falls out? I'll
work up the phrasing for that and run it by folks. But yeah, so I'm very opposed to the Cardinal, but is that how nemesis work, or is the nemesis supposed to be more someone that's like got it out for me, not like my own like major antagonist?
Yeah, I think that the nemesis is someone who's got it in for you. Now, there's no reason why you cannot, as part of your quest to clean up the church, have not just come across the Cardinal, but cause problems to him, so that he is now your nemesis. Yeah.
Should I make the Cardinal my nemesis? Or should I make his nephew my nemesis as like someone trying to stop me for maybe the Cardinal himself? Maybe I'm beneath the Cardinal's notice, but his nephew is starting to wonder if I'm working against him and wants to expose me.
I think it would be quite nice to have Guy de Robertin involved in an entanglement because he's kind of floated around the outside and popped his head up now and again, but he's not been bound to anybody. So yeah.
But if he's Thibault's nemesis, Mateo will never have a chance against him because he's not his nemesis and he can never fight that. So
no, hang on now. I've been thinking about this. It says the nemesis can never truly be defeated. That doesn't mean they cannot be defeated. It's just they will always come back. So it's not like a big bad in Hearts of Wulin where when you do for them, you kind of do for them. You can disgrace, socially disadvantage, have him sent away from Paris. All of that is doable for a nemesis. They're not untouchable. They just would come back.
Yeah, okay. I just don't want to steal Thibault Alexis' thunder in this. You know what I'm saying? Because in the story, Mateo would have it out for Guy. But
It's probably fine because like Lamfern has had honestly more dealings with my nemesis than I have, so it's perfectly fine. Like nemesis, they're not exclusive to anyone. It's just
okay. I was just
Plus,
saying
if you're going to go up against Guy Robertin, that's going to have to be a group effort anyway, probably for you to have a chance.
Maybe we have to fight them together.
We've only got 2 sessions left.
Yeah. I like that. Sure.
All right, and then I need a romantic entanglement. So what jumps out at me is being in love with the Cardinal's niece, and of course, the Cardinal is the one I have to take down, right? So it's something like I love blank, but their family member is a notorious villain. Is that all right? I think Volo was also in love with the Cardinal's niece. Just checking that it's okay.
Happily, he's been sent to Strasbourg.
Oh, so handy. All right. Yeah, then I'll work on phrasing those entanglements.
Thank you. And once you phrase those entanglements, pick a PC to have a starting bond with. Yeah. While you're doing that, I just want to kind of scene set, and I think probably a couple of days have passed because I'd like some of the stuff that was going on at Versailles at the ball to have some time to marinade. So a couple of days have passed, and I think I want a couple of just short scenes. Really, I'm not expecting these to go very far, but I just want a little bit of clarification to come out of these scenes.
I have a starting move.
Oh, you do? Yes, and I keep forgetting. And it's always a 10, so I don't know why we bother.
No, it wasn't a 10 the first time. But, I will roll it now and we'll see. Maybe it will do what it's supposed to do.
Do you want to tell our many listeners what it is?
Yes, of course. Dear many listeners, if you haven't noticed by now, I have this move that's called Face to Fate. Start a session, roll 2d6 without any element on a 6-, mark XP, and the GM gains a soft move from Fate for later use, which is happily what happened now. I have a 6, so I gain an XP.
You get XP, I get a soft move.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm very happy now.
So I think I'd like to start with Lamfern. I'd like to start with Lamfern in her dressing room at the Theatre Spectaculaire. And there's a polite knock on the door. And Jospin, the porter at the theatre, comes in and knocks on the door and says, excuse me, madam, I have a note for Monsieur Devray, and I can't find him. I wondered if you'd seen him.
Oh, I'm sure I can track him down. I will find him and deliver the note.
Oh, but the gentleman said I was to put it in his hand.
And I will be sure to do so.
You put me in a difficult position, madam. Hearts and minds?
Sure. Yeah. Let's do it and do this with Earth because I'm using my presence. Seems.
Which is a physical force. We know this.
Right. Which is a 13.
But you, madam, are among the most trustworthy individuals I've ever met, and so I will. Here, madam.
Yeah, and So I would take the note, and I will immediately put on a dressing robe so that I am decently clad and can walk around to the theater, and then I will quickly read the note before going to find Charles de Vray.
It is sealed by the Betancourt crest.
In that case, I am definitely going to take the time to read the note, and I think reading the note without obviously disturbing the seal is probably an overcome roll.
I think it is, but what I'd like to do is to leave that overcome roll until later to see whether anybody notices. So you do the best job you can, and we'll determine how good a job that was if and when it becomes relevant.
All right.
Yeah. So you're very carefully, finding it off. They've done this before. And it is a note from Colonel Isidore Betancourt. And it's in the most flowery language, but it may as well be in capitals. And it says, in effect, "De Vray, you fool! You let me down! I paid you to ruin her performance, to exclude her from that performance. And yet, she both appears on stage and, I'll have you know, was a sensation."
Oh, in that case, I'm not going to bother resealing the note.
And you can have 2 XP because you foiled retrospectively, or you foiled last time, but now you know it was the plot of your nemesis. And clearly, Betancourt has been in cahoots with de Vray to try to exclude you from an important performance. And he ends, "Either you give me my money back, or you deliver what I demanded of you. Betancourt."
Okay, well,
I'll just leave you with that. I'll leave you with that for a minute.
All right.
And I'd like to go to Nathalie. Now, Nathalie, I want you to tell me what has been the focus of your activity in the last couple of days.
I think with Simone's quest for vengeance, satisfied for the moment. That whole operation was botched in Versailles, but Volo's out of her hair. I think on that front, Nathalie feels fine. So I think she's going back to, doing what her superior Genevieve is kind of like asked her to do, which is to look into this whole this manuscript, this what else could be divined from it. At some point, she will probably visit the Theatre Spectaculaire, but I think in the past couple of days, it just has been working on the manuscript and kind of being just to reflect some of the marked elements she has. Kind of after that whole night, kind of been a bit, not to say she's forgotten Mateo, but she's not been paying attention to him. I think they've probably been busy. But I guess the shots what we mostly get is like Nathalie back in her lonesome apartment, working in that secret nook, where you have to like pull the right books out in the right order to get into, for sure. And like trying to figure out who the hell sent this manuscript to Charles de Vray.
Yeah. So, what are your suspicions about where it came from? What things are you describing to me, or are we seeing over your shoulder?
Ooh, well, my first thought was going to be the Spanish, but we don't have someone with that entanglement at the moment. So, yeah, I think, who has the most to gain for spreading a bit of discord between the classes, And I think Nathalie is like, the reason why she spent so much time working on this and it's taken so much time is because it's coming to like a conclusion that she doesn't really like want to like get to, because it's gonna put her at least her group at odds with what most likely is going to be the Fire Brats, and that's gonna be annoying. So that's why I think it's taking a few days. She's trying to figure out could it be the Crusaders? Nah, they're all gone, and they're all dead anyway. Could it be Betancourt Regiment? Nah, Isidore seems like an ass. He doesn't care about that sort of thing. And could it be the Spanish? Nah, I think that's a dead end. But yeah, I think she's coming around to the conclusion it's probably, if not Firebrands themselves, someone affiliated with them.
So when there's a knock, when there's a knock at the door and your footman enters and says, "Mademoiselle, there's a lady downstairs who sent up her card."
I think I think that would just like take the card and kind of like wave it a bit, as kind of like to dismiss him.
The card is in the name of Genevieve Damy.
Of course. Usually I come to her. She doesn't. Okay, what does it say? It's like, yeah, usually we meet in.
It's her card, and she's downstairs wanting to see you.
Okay.
Are you at home?
Yeah, I think this is kind of semi-unprecedented that she's come to me. In fact, the fact that I saw her at the ball as well was also quite a bit, because normally, we hang out at Notre Dame and talk in clandestine tones. The fact that someone's here bearing that name is suspicious, so I will go downstairs to receive this person.
And in the downstairs receiving room, there is a woman. She's dressed in a rich blue robe with a hood that comes all the way over her head. So you're no better off in terms of identifying who. But then we're not entirely certain whether Genevieve is one person or many people, to be honest. She is simply Genevieve, the patron saint of Paris. And she says, Mademoiselle de Chemin, I have taken this unprecedented step of visiting you because something very important has come to our attention.
So important that you'd risk exposure like this? What happened to meeting under the eyes of Notre Dame? This is almost folly. I mean, look at this, and she's kind of like waving around. It's this hooded figure standing in my lobby.
It has come to our attention, and the reason I have come to you with such an urgent message is that it's come to our attention that one of the bodies that disappeared, you will remember, when the king claimed that the obvious assassination attempt upon him was in fact part of the entertainments. We were able to identify one of those assailants, and you need to know that he is a former member of the Cardinal's Guard.
I think Nathalie trying to gestures for them to keep going.
It is now entirely clear that the Cardinal is not prepared to wait. The Cardinal is beginning to act. You, my dear Nathalie, must intervene and stop this plot. Are you any nearer in determining where that manuscript that you obtained came from?
I'm close. Perhaps a day left to figure it out. It's all coming together. But if you are proposing to interfere in my work and send me off against the Cardinal, well, who am I to say against what the apostles order of me?
At this point, I think that I need you to roll to overcome to just see if anything clicks around the manuscript. Because previously you got that this was intended to sow discontent by surreptitiously having a go at the crown.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'd like you to roll to overcome to see whether I can give you any more information about it.
Okay. I think I'll roll with water, just to be aware and wise about this. And that I didn't really need to go with water, but that's a 12.
Well, well. The plot of the play that was performed at Versailles the other night involved a dissolute cardinal and a king who was always in the background. The play you have, the thread of it is that it is of a dissolute king and a cardinal who looks on with condescension. Do you say anything to Genevieve about strengthens your conclusions?
Yeah, I think I'll describe at least that description, just to give them something. So just saying, I'm close to figuring out. I would say at least the plot of the play and relay that to them.
And De Vrij wrote this play.
More likely he received it or had some instruction in writing it. From what I've gleaned when that's my desk acting up. From what I've gleaned when I originally liberated this copy, it was a play that was written specifically for one particular actress in the Theatre Spectaculaire, some up-and-coming starlet, Victoire de Lalouette, or something like that.
We have heard great things of her. She has shown great promise, but clearly under the influence of De Vrij, both the theatre and this young woman are at risk. The time has come, mademoiselle, to take action. De Vrij must not write another play.
I think Nathalie just is grimly kind of nods and then says, am I right then to say that in the course of ensuring that action I should ascertain if anything else in the theater is influenced by outside sources?
That would seem very prudent. The Theatre Spectaculaire has always spoken for the crown. We must be careful, my dear Nathalie, that does not change. Rather, perhaps, its management should change and its sources of funding, perchance.
I think Nathalie just kind of shrugs. I get the feeling that she's very matter of fact about this. She's not as invested as Genevieve is in keeping the crown. It's more like this is what she does. And I think she says, well, thy will be done. Now I don't need to... Actually, no, I think she just says, thy will be done. And she'll just bow, kind of.
Do be careful, my dear Nathalie. You understand that were you to be discovered, then I could not accept any responsibility.
My dear Genevieve, I have been careful all my life. It would be foolish of me to slip up now.
And with her hood carefully across her face, she curtsies and leaves. I'm inclined to say that on the back of her card, this card will self-destruct in 30 seconds. Mateo, where shall we come across Mateo? I've got an idea, but I'm curious what you're interested in.
Well, I think for once I would like to clear one of my elements, because I've marked quite a few. And I think what I would do here is I would like to reclaim water, and I would go into a bit of isolation, because I also want to... I fought this Robertin guy, and I know that he's better, and I want to study him, of course. And by doing so, want to clear an element. I'm greedy, I know, but got a few days, and I'm young, so bounce back easily.
So, in terms of studying him, what do we see you doing by way of studying Guy de Robertin?
I remember by remembering what he did during that duel.
So you're not tempted to to loiter around the Cardinal Guard's barracks?
I am not no.
Okay, just checking.
I will stay in isolation until I've worked this out of my system, really, because there was a lot to do and a lot going on, and then I like this Volo guy, but maybe not. Who knows? He's been sent away, even though he seemed to be a great warrior, and he was sent away for being a great warrior, and that worries me. And I would like to talk to L'Enfant, but maybe not. And then there's Emily. And no, I just concentrate on this Guy thing, because that's the easy one. I just have to figure out how to be faster and stronger and better than him. It should be easy.
Fine. So this is a hard cut, sharply cut sequence of you on your own, with just flashbacks to the duel. Are you saying to me that you'd like to combine a montage to recover an element and the new technique move, or if
that's possible? Yeah.
I think, given that we're 4 of 5, I think that's perfectly possible. So you have seen him fight once. That's not entirely true, you know. You did see him acting defensively at the ball at Versailles.
Right, and also I saw Nathalie fight, and she has a very different fighting style from mine, but with the whole underhanded and the secretive stuff. Maybe I can integrate some of that. Probably won't work, but hey, you can try, right?
Oh yes. So I think you are rolling +2. What are you rolling +2?
I am rolling +2, the number of times I've seen my foe's fighting form.
Yeah.
That's what I'm rolling.
Go for it.
Yay, I've got a 10.
Well. So on a hit, you gain scale against your foe.
Yes.
And there is no cost. Yeah?
Ha. Yeah.
Yeah?
Cool. Yeah, I'm happy.
Good. So, let's go to Thibault. What's the first time we see Thibault?
I really think he's returning to Paris after being away for a good while, right? Like I think he had, he's had this transformation, right, going on this pilgrimage, and then joining this secret society, and now he has come to the capital, as the time is approaching when the Cardinal's comeuppance must be delivered. So probably like a carriage is clattering through the gates, and we see this man with a playful smile but intense eyes and a well-groomed beard, looking out over the city and taking in the familiar sights and sounds, but with a new purpose and drive.
And where does the carriage take him?
Good question. Where have people been, doing things so far?
I suppose I'm curious. Does this take him to where his lodgings? Because he's a once dissolute nobleman, so there's probably an apartment or a townhouse. Maybe belongs to his father, or does he seek out Simone, the head of the Firebrands, the recognized leader of this group?
Yeah, let's do that.
And sorry, just to answer the rest of your question, we have the Betancourt barracks. There's a coffee shop we know around the corner from the Betancourt Regiment barracks. There's the Theatre Spectaculaire. We know that the Queen lives in Paris, but I don't think we visited her yet.
And presumably her ladies in waiting are there too.
That is true, including the young Claudine Robertin.
Yeah, I think duty first. I will seek out Simone. Where would I find her? Do we have some sort of meeting place prearranged?
Simone operates entirely above the radar. You know, that she's a well-known. She has a fabulous salon. You know, well known for philosophers and great thinkers, and many people who are anybody visit Simone Rossignols salon. So there is no, you can have got an invitation to the salon.
Absolutely. Then that's where I go.
And I think you will arrive at a point where where she has a number of visitors. She is having a salon. There is chocolate, there is coffee, and everyone is very interested in the latest pamphlet by the well-known, slightly notorious pamphleteer, the Firebrand. And I see no reason why one of these couldn't be pressed into your hands, as you're going through the gate. Somebody saying, "Oh, the latest pamphlet, sir." So you've had a chance to look at it. And it is an account of what has happened at Versailles. It's an account of the entertainment the king staged, which was seen to be, claimed to be by all who saw it, but a part of the entertainment. But many women, many young ladies, fainted at the very sight of what appeared to be brigands assaulting the king. And now this cannot be true, for the king, our loyal king, our great king, would never hide such a thing. And who would ever think to trespass on the grounds of Versailles in such a way? That's page 1. The flip side.
What new farce is this?
The flip side is a castigation of the Cardinal, that many people, the planned, entertainment provided by Theatre Spectaculaire at the King's Ball was an enormous success. The well-known famous actress Lanfern played the Cardinal in commas, who set about the dot of a helpless young woman, while a king was simply seen to sit in the background and observe events with a smile upon his face. And it seems to be that this is having a go at both the Cardinal and the king. Yeah? And that is what's being discussed, and much tittering in the salon. What do you do?
Yeah, I'll kind of say to myself upon reading this, "Learned Fern, you old devil. Sounds like a performance for the ages." And then I will look about me, kind of take in the salon, right, and the kind of glittering people here, and take comfort that I'm no longer one of them, for I have a greater purpose.
Do you actually want to engage with the study move?
Yeah, why not? Let me see if what I can glean from a closer observation here.
Fine. So what will you roll with?
Control, calculation, reflection. So I'll roll with metal.
Okay, so roll +0.
All right, 2d6. I'm going to use red. Ooh. Well, that's a 4.
And we're off to a flying start.
There we are.
Do mark that element. What can I tell you? Gosh, I wasn't expecting to have to do something that quick. Let me tell you that you overhear Simone Rossignol talking to a man with little glasses, squinty philosopher, and she's saying, yes, and Aventine has been sent from Paris, so I consider myself entirely justified. But she looks over his shoulder and sees you. Thibault, excuse me, my dear Professor, I must speak to my new guest. And she puts her arm through yours and leads you away to the window where you look out on the Paris streets. And she says, my dear Thibault, I'm so pleased that you've arrived so swiftly. It is time to act. It is now absolutely clear that the king is powerless in the face of the Cardinal. And I must tell you that we can no longer let the situation continue as it is. While I am not entirely confident in the king's morals, I will not be ruled by the church.
Indeed, the Cardinal brings shame to this nation. Kings have always been dissolute, but cardinals should aspire to something better. And when they fall, well, then we must be God's instrument to correct them.
Indeed, they must fall, Thibault. My question to you, my dear boy, is will he fall, or will he be pushed? But now, I must go to my guests. And she gives you a look that makes it very clear that if anyone is to push him, you are to push him. Okay?
Yeah, in the window reflected, we see kind of his smile, like flicker for a second, right? As he steels himself for the task.
And I think that's a reasonable point for us to take a 5-minute break. It's 4 minutes to. Shall we be back short, just a minute or two after the hour? Is that okay? Okay, I'll see you then. I just noticed, Alexei, Thibault's fighting style. The scourge of Saint Denis, rapier and small explosives. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I have this rebel, or rather this outsider move, where you can set traps, and I figured the small explosives are helpful for that.
Spot on. I said I would come back to Lanfern to find out what she was going to do with this letter, if anything. So Lanfern, do you want to set a scene for me and tell me what we're looking at?
Yeah. We are doing a rehearsal of the Cardinal's daughter it's on stage. DeVray is there. The company is watching, and I am putting some new lines into the play about how the Cardinal one of his corrupt actions is he paid a theater director to sabotage this person that he had a grudge against. I'm using my laughing in the wind move to call out DeVray to the theater company.
I'm very happy to see that. So presumably did you pass the letter on?
I am going to throw it at his feet at the climax of the scene.
Okay. So depending on how this goes may depend on quite how effective that is. So go ahead, laughing in the wind. You have a chosen art. When you express yourself via that roll plus the roll on D10, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead.
Yes, and I'm rolling with wood. That was a 14.
This woman is...
No, wait. Roll for your party glitched again. It changed to a 9. But I will burn a bond with Victoire to push that up to a 10.
And Victoire is kind of looking at you, and she's playing back in this. She's picking up on the ad-libs and allowing you to work it. So you can certainly make that 10. So on a 10, choose 3.
Yeah. People understand my message, and I begin to change popular opinion. The theater company is angry that DeVray sold me out, and they are starting to question whether he should continue as the leader of the theater.
Fine, and that's when you throw this at his feet, or maybe even throw it at Alouette's feet, and she and says, "Oh, more lines," and she reads them out. And then he grabs them before she can finish. So it's absolutely transparent that he's taken money to do you down. And there's much kind of, I say, Charles is not the gentleman I thought. Much tittering in the wings. Tell me someone who's watching the rehearsal.
Could Thibault have come to see me?
I'm game for that.
Fine. So there's Thibault in the stalls, in the watching this, and I think it would be impossible for him not to kind of laugh and draw your attention, so you know he's there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got a very distinctive kind of loud barking laugh.
And so DeVray points at you and says, "This is a complete calumny," and storms off the stage to no effect at all. Really, everyone knows where what he's done and why he did it.
And I call out, "Very well, your seconds may call upon my second," and I point to Victoire.
Ooh, right. And he looks over his shoulder, and there's a kind of sudden kind of, "Egads, what have I done?" And his storming off the stage becomes a slight slink. Let's see what happens to him later. But what do you want to do with this moment, with Thibault in the audience, if anything? Or does Thibault want to do?
I'm still kind of observing this rehearsal,
Right.
with amusement.
I mean, I think it's going to break up in confusion, and people are going to start talking to each other, and like Victoire, we must speak, and I am going to drag her off stage, and I would take her to a location where Thibault could interrupt if he chooses.
Oh, perfect. All right, I'll keep that in mind and step in when in an appropriate time.
So, Lanfern and Alouette says, "My dear, that was quite a coup."
Yes. Fortunately, the porter was unable to find Devray, and his note went astray. But, Victoire, you must not think that you got the role only because Devray wished to do me wrong. You are the second most talented actress in this company, and you deserve to have your time on stage.
And I think she looks a little coy and says, "Well, you have never complimented me so openly, my dear." And her hand tentatively reaches and just touches your forearm as if to say, "Thank you."
Yes, and I will take her hand and gently kiss it.
And she looks down and says, but is it not true that there are others in your life?
And you know what? I feel like it's time for inner conflict.
We've been playing for an hour and 10 minutes. It has to be time for an inner conflict. Flesh it out for me. What are you worried about? Where is the conflict coming from?
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's true that I've had so many other lovers, but she is different. But I'm not ready to admit that she's different. It's
okay.
It's like, do I admit that I have a true passion for her, which would make me vulnerable?
So go ahead. What are you rolling with? Mark XP and then tell me what you're rolling with, and go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I kind of hate to roll with Earth each time, but this is caution, I think.
Just
so
how much of yourself do you want to reveal?
Yes. Yeah. So I'll roll with wood, and that is a 9. So.
So 7 to 9.
Let me think if I want to burn my bond to boost that to a 10, and it's like, yeah, I will burn a bond. So it's like, yes, but you are different. I feel something for you that I have not felt for a very, very, very long time.
And she pauses, looks down, and looks up at you and says, "Not even Isidore Betancourt."
He is not the man I was thinking of.
But you still wear his locket. I saw it at Versailles.
I wear the locket for another Betancourt.
I do not understand.
It is not my secret to share love, not yet.
And there's a throat-clearing noise from the entrance to this room,
where, of course, no one's entirely clear exactly how much of that Thibault heard.
Oh yeah, unclear. But Thibault says, "Pardon me, ladies. I was hoping to pay my respects."
Thibault, Your timing, as always, is atrocious. You would benefit from studying the theatrical arts to learn how to make a better entrance.
And most women say I'm too much of a show-off.
Victoire, this is my good friend Thibault Moreau.
And
Charmed, and I do a bow and a flourish.
she drops you a very deep and elegant curtsy and looks up under a large brimmed hat, batting her eyelids at you.
I chuckle.
What brings you to the theatre, or is it to Paris, monsieur?
What brings anyone anywhere? The hand of God, I say very lightly, and then I turn to Linfern. And I say, Madam, I knew I couldn't refrain from seeking you out for long after I came to the city. It seems you have had an eventful time here, not only working to correct the miscalculations of your actor manager, but the rumor is you've taken an interest in the career of a young officer, and I let that question just hang there.
Yes, the officer in question. Well, I should not say too much, but I feel that they have better prospects than the Betancourt regiment.
Better prospects of what sort? I have to confess, I thought the man a little young for you, not to cast any aspersions, but is he not young enough to? Well,
Thibault, do not be crude. I have no interest in the boy that way. I wish him to achieve greatness. That is my only interest. And no man no young soldier can achieve real greatness while under the thumb of Isidore Betancourt.
Cool. I want to roll inner conflict about how whether I will come clean about my own plans for Mateo, and let me roll that with patience. I think, right. The question is, do I blurt things out, or am I playing the longer game here? So rolling with +1 for my wood element. Okay. It becomes a 10. Where I say, well, certainly I bear the lad no ill will, and I hope that he may achieve as well. Perhaps we can both be his benefactors in some way.
It's impossible for the audience not to notice that Alouette has been sitting there listening very carefully, and at the name of Mateo Betancourt and what Lanfern previously said to her, she looks at Thibault, looks at Lanfern, and you can see cogs engaging.
Oh, beautiful.
Is that scene, or do you want to go any further with that?
I'm happy if you are.
Yeah, I'm happy to have that be the scene.
Fine. Let's cut to Nathalie then. What after the visit by Genevieve? What's Nathalie's plan or thought?
Part of me is thinking of seeking out it. either part of me either wants to go to Simone or just go straight to the action. And the action is go over and take care of this Charles DeVray problem that Genevieve's dumped on my lap. I might just do that. Let's just fuck it. Let's do it. Let's cut to that. So I think while this scene between L'Enfer and Thibault and Victoire is happening, I think you'll get like this. Let's do proper Assassin's Creed. This hooded figure, dressed in dark like colors, kind of like climbing around the rafters of Paris. She's done this before. She stole that manuscript, so she knows the way in, for sure. And I think she's absolutely wearing a mask, unlike these other assassins who, just resort to using a hood or a mask. No, she goes with both. And yeah, she's gonna try and sneak in and get to Charles DeVray's office, just as she did many times. But who knows? This might require a roll of sort.
Yeah, I wasn't certain.
Before that, though.
Oh, go on.
I'm going to declare a plan.
Oh, I lost that. You just cut out a bit. Say again.
I think as we're kind of seeing this, I just remembered I do have a move for declaring a plan. So I'm going to do that because I do absolutely have a plan. It's called Final Master. When you declare a plan, you're going to roll. And I think I will roll again with water. All right, that's a 9. So on a 7 to 9, I will hold 1. While carrying out the plan, I can spend the hold to either add +1 forward to a roll, clear an element, or have a vital item at hand. So I have that.
I just want to check. You're not tempted to burn the bond with Simone to make that a 10?
Yeah, but the thing is, this kind of has nothing to do with Simone. So like I would like there to be like some sort of justification.
No, that's
I know
fine.
you don't have to because Simone bonds are, but like, yeah, this is kind of like she did have a choice, like either do this or go to Simone, and she decided to do this instead.
Okay, fine. So hold 1. While carrying out the plan, you can spend your hold to add +1 forward to a roll, clear an element, or have a vital item at hand. Fine. So describe what we see then as this plan unfolds like clockwork.
Yeah. So last time I played Assassin's Creed was the 3rd one. That was okay. No, never mind. I'm getting to a tangent.
Oh, has anybody else seen Leandro freeze? Oh, I think he saw you freeze.
Yeah, I think he's having some
we lost him.
difficulty there.
That was too much
no,
Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
Yeah, it was too much. I was starting to talk about the 3rd one, aka the one nobody likes.
and so the internet intervened and
There
froze
you go,
you
it happened
solid.
again.
So
Yeah. I will say, the French one is even worse. Okay, I'm not going to get into this.
So what do we see?
Sorry, what was it you were?
So we've seen her, across the rooftops, in through an attic window of the Theatre Spectaculaire, and then ...
Oh dear. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fix my internet on this side. If you want to move to Mateo for the moment because it keeps freezing up.
Yeah, fine. Drop, come back, and we'll. You've left us on a cliffhanger. So let's go to Mateo then. Mateo, you've spent this couple of days in this kind of isolated, focused way, trying to get your act together and rehearse how you might not fall to Guy de Robertin again. And then what?
And then I go to the theater, of course. I mean, that was the plan from the beginning, but I had to find my center again. I will not run away from L'Enfer. I will tell her firmly that I will not be taken in by her wiles, but that instead she has to tell me what she knows about my father. I'm rehearsing that a bit in my head, so it sounds better. But also I want to see Emily. Maybe I would just want to see Emily. That seems like a far better plan. Go find Emily. Talk to Emily. Because Emily is L'Enfer's maid. And she might even be able to help me with this whole secretive, intriguing stuff.
Well,
So,
now stop me if I'm making too many assumptions here. So you're going to the theatre.
yeah,
We know it's the evening because Nathalie is making her way across the rooftops at night.
sure.
We see her moving against the moon. The rehearsal this afternoon. Now there has to be a performance, Lanfen, doesn't there? And Thibault, are you going to stay for the performance?
Yes, but at a kind of, a place in the audience where I won't be noticed if I kind of disappear at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about mid to late 17th century French theatre to know whether there is a pit. But I think you're at the back of the auditorium where you could slip away if you needed to. Lanfen, you're on stage, and I guess Mateo, you've arrived because you bought tickets ages ago.
Yeah, I've bought tickets ages ago. That's true. But right now, I don't want to go to see the theater. I want to see Emily, so I have to sneak around a bit, which I'm perfectly suited to, I'm sure, because I once lived in Spain and snuck around archers all the time and stole horses, which none of these Parisians can, and once even a bull, but that's a entirely different story. Anyway, and I will now sneak around and try to find Emily.
So
because now I'm
and the theater is packed because everybody has heard about the performances at Versailles, but there's a very conspicuous open space in the front row where I had reserved a seat for Mateo.
So Mateo is backstage, Nathalie is on the roof, Thibault is at the back of the auditorium, and Lanfen is on stage. At this point, we're in the opening scenes, and she is playing the Cardinal again, I guess, because that's what makes this such a hot ticket. She's playing a man. Yes, I know. And so Devray is upstairs. He has a minor part in all the plays if he's not the leading man. We know he wasn't the leading man in this because there was someone we created who was. So he has not appeared. His understudy is desperately rehearsing the few lines he has because Charles is up in his office and is seeing no one. What happens next? Let me go back to Nathalie.
Okay, I think Nathalie is like sneaking through the attic window, and I think she is just gonna like, I think in this like attic there's probably like a bunch of maybe some leftover costume stuff, and she's done this before, so she is gonna slip out of her conspicuous sneaky. Actually, no, I think she'll keep that on. I think she might have slipped out into a disguise when she came here to like steal stuff, but here this is rubbing someone out. There's a message that has to be sent. So yeah, I think she will proper stealth level this entire theater on her way to Charles Devray's office, hopefully without knocking anyone out.
So this sounds like an overcome broadly. As to whether this is to operate the plan, you have some bonuses to work with from your success with the plan. But I think this is an overcome. And what is she rolling with here? What's the closest thing to stealthy we have? Caution?
Well, that's marked, so that's well out. I think it's probably metal. It's calculation. So it's less about like caution, it's more about like knowing when to like, dart through corners. Sadly, this is before vents are a thing, so we can't do that. But we just saw the first Captain America movie, and that guy is like red, white, and blue sneaking around a Nazi base, and no one noticed. And I rolled an 8. So even if I spend that hold, it will only go up to a 9.
Okay, so you don't have to spend the hold on that. You can keep it for something later, right? That sits there until you want to use it. So there's a complication. She drops through the trapdoor from the attic down into the upper floor, where the office and the dressing rooms are. And there, and it says, there's a complication. There, at the other end of the corridor, looking for Lanfin's dressing room and therefore Emily, is Mateo Betancourt.
I think what Mateo sees is this small but like dark figure in like a black cloak and leather armor and a hood. But when this person looks up, you see the mask they're wearing. It's a completely blank. It's not even a face. It's like it's like a sheet of marble. That's marble. That's like oval. It's like, it's an oval shape. So there's no like face at all. It's like a blank canvas. It's like the one bit of white that this dark figure is wearing.
So not at all suspicious then.
Well, Mateo will of course accost this figure, which must be an assassin sent to murder Lanfin. Probably. She made enough enemies, right? And nobody can beat her in a duel, so they must have sent assassins. Mateo is kind of jumping to conclusions here. But he will yell, "Assassin, stand!" And he will draw his rapier and, go on the offensive, I guess.
What's Nathalie's reaction to this challenge?
Well, I think Nathalie's gonna run, but Mateo shouted it out. So I think what Nathalie's gonna do is, I guess this is kind of a duel. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to force that on you. The duel option is there.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think that's fine. Let's have a duel.
Okay. So when you challenge another PC.
Yeah, I think so.
So go ahead, Mateo. Take us through the move and tell us what's what with the whatnot.
When you challenge another PC, say what you'll give them if they accept your victory. You may offer unspent XP, character, actions, burning bonds, changes to entanglements, letting them narrate the moment, or anything in-game the GM approves. Well, I mean, I don't need to be victorious here. All I want is to have some hint that this was, in fact, dear old Nathalie. That would be enough of a sort of victory.
That's how I lose. That's how I lose. I give away myself.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So if
you get away, but you would. I mean, this is more Good Society resolution than it is Hearts of Wulin resolution. But I mean, I could offer you XP, but I don't know why. What that would.
No. I think that's good enough. I think that's good enough. It's
okay.
Mateo will like piece this out. So I think what this is like you as you're shouting like halt or something. Nathalie's already moving forward. She's not gonna go into a duel with like, we're not gonna. It's not gonna be standard. So I think like what she'll do is like she'll kind of like encircle your arms to hers, and she's gonna headbutt you. With the mask. Yeah. And actually no. Before that, I think I don't want to sell Mateo short because I think Mateo will like try to block and parry, and I think the way these knives kind of come out of nowhere and suddenly like are in her hands because I draw the line of giving her a hidden blade. These knives kind of come out and kind of like I think the way she disarms you is exactly how you saw Nathalie disarm.
Yeah,
those people. I think.
I know this. I know this style of fighting, and while she does this, I think Mateo will kind of almost step back, surprised, and say Nathalie, and that's when you disarm him because he's really confused, and this is an inner conflict. Because I think he recognized that it was her, and now he doesn't know what to do. Because what is my betrothed doing, assassinating people? I mean, come on, you don't do you do that in the city? Maybe. Well, okay. I think I am rolling this with. No, I'm not rolling it with wisdom. I'm rolling it with passion. That seems, and I've rolled a 10. I keep it together. And that means I will keep it together. You have disarmed me. I will lift my hands and say, Madame, Mademoiselle, maybe, Mademoiselle de Chemin, maybe we should talk. Maybe not now, but at some point in the future.
Does this feel like an inner conflict for Nathalie?
This is when she headbutts you.
Oh, okay.
So no
She
inner
doesn't need
conflict
to.
then.
She does need to. Because he lets
I
her
don't
go.
have an inner conflict involving Mateo.
Yeah,
I have no inner conflict in that regard.
Okay, cool.
I want to appear around now because I have a move.
Yes.
Have sword, will travel. Once per session, you may announce your presence in the perfect place to help someone, ignoring time, distance, or plausibility. So I think
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not happy with that right now because this is one scene I got in 1.5 hours, and then my agency gets taken away. I'm not happy. I'm sorry to say this.
with which thing? With Thibault appearing?
Yeah, because I mean, come on, that would mean that Mateo is kind of the fool here, and has.
Sure, I'll save it then.
Yeah, thank you for that because I wanted to have at least one scene where I could do something, right?
So just to be clear then, in terms of the PC duel, I'm still not clear whether Nathalie accepted and didn't lose or rejected the offer. You both mark an element. The offered player chooses to win or draw. That's right. That's where we're at, isn't it?
I don't know. Where are we at?
Because
Well, the offer was that like Mateo finds out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was what was
okay,
offered.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I accepted that.
Oh, I see.
And
okay.
yeah, part of that offer was like Nathalie would still get away. It's just that Mateo would not.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was what I offered. She would still get away.
Okay. So what do we see next then?
Well, I think Nathalie gets away.
Nathalie headbutts Mateo.
Yeah. Sure.
And
She does.
Gets away.
Yeah.
Spiff spoff. Okay. So mark the relevant XP. And what does Mateo do now?
Okay, this is not going to be very easy as he thought. But he still needs to talk to Emily, right?
And just along the corridor is the Star's dressing room. And I think perhaps even Emily may come to the door to find him just slightly, as this assassin has disappeared. So, what do you do, Mateo?
Well, I will now start to dissemble and turn around and say, "Oh, Emily, good to see you. I think there was an assassin here. After L'Enfant's life, I scared him away."
Emily will scream, "An assassin!"
Oh, I thought this was an everyday occurrence in Paris. Is it not?
But my mistress! Quickly, to the stage!
What? What? Okay.
I must warn her.
Yes, of course you must.
Or what? And then I think Emily remembers what her mistress has actually told her, which is you must throw yourself at Mateo Betancourt. And she suddenly kind of pauses, remembers all her mistress's best scene, and goes, "Oh."
Oh,
and
will catch her, of course.
And goes to faint. So she's now in your arms, Mateo. Where do we go with this? The chaise lounge in her mistress's dressing room. Oh, Monsieur Betancourt, but an assassin. And you chose to stay with me rather than pursue the assassin. She reaches up and touches your face. I am speechless. Oh, anything, my dear. May I call you Mateo? I think you need to, if you want to interrogate dear helpless Emily, you will need to hearts and minds, I think. So on a 79, they can instead choose to reveal themselves. You may ask 2 questions of them. Overreact, you gain a bond with them. Hesitate, you gain +1 ongoing against them. I think that her natural reaction will be to hesitate. And so you have +1 ongoing against them. And she says, I really, it is, I cannot speak of that to a stranger. Oh, my dear Mateo. Perhaps if you stayed a moment with me. And her arms come up around you. You're in love with her. And I think at that point, we fade to black. Is that okay? Okay. Meanwhile, Nathalie, you have run away. Where to? Okay. And I'm just casting a weather eye at Thibault, knowing. Oh, I'm just casting a weather eye at Thibault, knowing that that his move is kind of loaded. So Nathalie, yes, Devray's office. The door is closed. What do you do? I'm busy. I'm not to be disturbed. That woman, I am not speaking to that woman. Oh, damn it! And the door slams open. Give me the note! And then he realized he... What is the meaning of this? What? What? I don't understand what you mean. What about it? It was what, the lost one, the one that Lanfein stole. And that's when there is a polite ahem behind you, Nathalie. And a woman's voice says, "Oh, sister, we are past that." And there is the actress Victoire Alouette. Don't you recognize me, sister? As she draws knives from beneath her dresses. You, sister, abandoned me, but I didn't die. I survived, sister. But you got the money. I spent 12 months in a convent with no memory of events. And then, sister, it all came back to me, but by then it was too late. I'd been declared dead. You, sister, must pay. My dear Charles, was this woman threatening you? Ah, yes, says Charles, yes, backing away. Do you know who she is, Charles? What do you do, Nathalie? Okay. Yeah. I think whenever you feel that you're conflicted, yeah. I think this is a personal issue. I hate to do this to you, but when your nemesis is in a scene or you realise you have a -2 penalty on your rolls. So that's a 6. So on a miss, mark XP. Mark XP and the GM makes things much worse. Mateo. There is a period of time has passed and you can hear shouting. Charles de Vray is shouting. Oh, as she laces her corset. No. Déshabille. I think we see Mateo's chest for the first time, and it's some chest. And that's the point on stage, Lanfern, when somebody, Alouette's missing. She's gone to see Devray. She's not here. And she's due on shortly. What do you do, Lanfern? And I think on this cliffhanger, I would quite like a 5-minute break. Can we be back at 5 to the hour? Is that long enough? The younger Sarge's first appearance in an AP. It couldn't. So we can pick up a bits and pieces just before Alexi comes back. So let me start then with Lanfern. Just be clear with me. What is the message you are seeking to communicate with your laughing in the wind move? Oh, right. So no equivocation there. So roll plus, you tell me. Not creativity? You are extemporizing. Tricky pick. Which one? Earth. Go with Earth. Oh. Well, I can't help feeling it's about time Lanfern failed a roll, actually. So do mark an element. You cross paths with an artistic rival or offend someone important. That is the point when a number of people in the auditorium stand, throw off that. Sorry, Alexi, we just kicked off. Lanfern has failed miserably with her. The Cardinal is unfit for office. And a number of men in the audience stand up and announce, in the name of the Cardinal and the Cardinal's guard, this theatre is closed. And they storm the stage. They are Guy de Robertin and members of the Cardinal's guard. You have offended someone important, Lanfern. Oh no, I'd forgotten. Oh dear, sorry. Let me then cut back upstairs where I think we have an interesting confrontation about to occur. So, yes, suddenly they're in the wings. Yeah, they are storming the stage. People are running from the theatre in panic. The Cardinal's guard. Chaos reigns. The performance actresses, actors are scattering left, right, and centre. And in a moment, we'll see whether Lanfern needs Thibault or whether Thibault chooses to intervene. Because I want to go back upstairs, where we have Charles de Vray cowering in a corner of his room. We have Nathalie in that room, confronted by her nemesis, Victoire Alouette. And it is this scene that Mateo runs up the corridor to discover. So you're coming up behind Alouette, who you know is an actress. She looks over her shoulder and says, "Oh, this could not be more fortuitous." and she steps into the room and invites you in. Um, there is the assassin that bested you earlier. And Victoire says, do you have any idea who this is, Monsieur Betancourt? Nathalie, what do you do? While Nathalie's thinking about what she's going to do, let's cut downstairs to the stage where the Cardinal's guard are running up up onto the stage. What do you do, Lanfern? Rather than defending yourself against the Cardinal's guard? And then, Thibault? Let's have you announce your presence and then engage the move, the follow-up, yeah? But I'm curious, how does he enter this scene? Because I'm looking for some buckling to swash. Enter, mounted on eagle. Thibault appears as if flown in by eagle and dances lightly to his feet between Lanfern and the oncoming Cardinal's guard. What do you do, Thibault? As rapiers are drawn. And then we cut upstairs. Mateo is protecting Charles. Nathalie, what do you do? Tell me what you want to happen. So when you had him up against the wall, what we didn't see was that kind of poisonous snuff into his face. And behind Mateo, Charles is going, I feel rather unwell. Alouette is unconcerned by this. She said to Mateo, do you know who this is, Monsieur Betancourt? It is none other than your betrothed, Nathalie de Chemin. What I'd like to happen is I think that I would like Alouette to try to unmask Nathalie. Nathalie, what reaction? How do you want to avoid this? I think she is going to try to duel you if we're not careful, with the intention of unmasking you. Okay. Okay. So, Nathalie, what do you do? We know what Mateo intends to do. And the cape comes out and we see her glide to the ground and we cut downstairs. Thibault, a number of the Cardinal's Guard are confronting you. Lanfern is behind you. They will attack you. This has just become the 1970s Three Musketeers. Go for it. On 10 plus, take 2 forward against them. On a miss, the trap raises the stakes. Fine. So yeah, chaos ensues as properties. The sky falls on the Cardinal's Guard, and then the moon. And so you have +2 forward against them. What do you want to do with that +2? I think you have the initiative at this point. I think that's comfort and support. When you go to assist or clear harm from a fellow PC, roll. So what are you rolling, Thibault? Okay, go ahead. Sometimes those dice are falling the right way. So on a hit, they may accept your words. They can clear a checked element. I wonder which one. Or not. Okay, not gain a bond. Okay. On a 10 plus, you may additionally clear an element, ask them a question they must answer, or you gain a bond with them. Thibault, what's your choice? Okay, so I don't think. Did you have an element marked, Thibault? I'm not sure you did. If so, Oh, a big part. Okay, yeah. I thought it was as well as, but it isn't. Okay. So, and you still have +2 against the Cardinal's guard. Then we cut back upstairs. The assassin leaps from the window, Mateo. Alouette looks at you, looks at the window. And as you leap from the window, you hear Alouette scream, "Help! Help! There's been a murder!" So Nathalie's disappeared out the window. You followed Nathalie. Nathalie, where are you heading? What do we see? Are you trying to avoid pursuit? Um, does that sound like overcome to catch? Oh, great! Yes. Well, I mean, for what it's worth, I think the villain in Coeur de l'Épée is much less clear than in Hearts of Wulin. So, pick a villain, any villain will do. So I'm very happy for that to be used as long as Nathalie will go with it. But I think you... You have cursed yourself. On a fail, they fool you with a seeming change of heart. So what does Mateo think? You do. Yes, sorry. Nathalie, what impression have you left Mateo with? Well, look, I've given you agency here. You can tell her whatever you like, and sorry, him whatever you like, and he will believe you in the moment. And that, Mateo, is when the audience begins to stream out of the theatre. Back to the stage, Thibault and L'Enfer, they're struggling out of the sky that you have dropped on them, Thibault, and the Cardinal's guard are coming at you both. What do you do? And then you hear the cry, "Moreau! Men, Moreau is mine," says Guy de Robertin. L'Enfer, you have the troops. Thibault has Guy. Mateo, you will shortly enter the auditorium. Nathalie, I've no idea what you want to do. But let's cut to the stage. L'Enfer, the guard attacks you. You are dealing with troops. On a hit, you defeat them. Describe how you do it. Indeed. And yes, the elegance you display on stage is just as perfect when you are as a duelist. Thibault. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay. Thibault, Guy de Robertin, takes his hat off and throws it to one side. And he draws his rapier and says, "I've been waiting a long time for this, Moreau." Don't mention my cousin, you cad. She is so far above you as to be like a goddess to you. A thing I would scrape from my boot. Now have at me. Now, we know that Guy was above the scale of Mateo, so I think we have to assume that he's above Thibault's scale. Yes. And so this is not in the end going to go tremendously well for you. But that is the point when Mateo enters the auditorium and sees Guy de Robertin engage with a man I don't think he's met. Yes, still in that flouncy white shirt. So, Thibault, your foe is above your scale. You will lose the conflict, but the detail of which we will determine with a roll, unless you have another card up your sleeve. You do have +2 ongoing with all members of the Cardinal Guard. Yeah. It could have gone much worse. No, that's any element, your choice. So how do we see you lose but escape with a degree of dignity? And so you use that as an opportunity to for discretion to be the better part of valor. Before I ask Lanfern what she's going to do, I will go back to Mateo. You've seen this unfold. Lanfern is cutting a sway through the Cardinal's Guard. Guy de Robertin appears to have disarmed and driven off his opponent. What does Mateo do? Oh, wow. Honor Miss Mark XP, and the GM makes things much worse. Mateo, as Lanfern thinks about what to say, Guy de Robertin calls across the stage, "Ah, the young pup! Don't you know that she's your mother?" So you have some discretion, Lanfern. You hold it together. Do you want to lie to your son? Or have we all got the wrong end of the stick? It was in. All the women in your world are just, it's just all going to pieces. And Guy de Robertin chuckles and he says, I wanted you to know that before I killed you. So this is now a foe on your scale. What are you rolling, and tell me what you get. So he's coming at you and he's using exactly the same approach that he took in the street, and he's driving you back across the stage. What do we see you trying to do in response to this? And so I think that he says, "Come on, pup! This is too easy," and he's. And he leans in and he flicks his blade across your left cheek. And he's... Oh, sorry, I thought it was the other way around. I apologise. He marks the other cheek. And he says, "And now everyone knows who is the greatest swordsman in Paris." And he turns arrogantly and walks out of the theatre. I'm not sure we can top that, to be honest, unless somebody really has a really good idea for a closing scene that is not that one. Yeah. Okay. My goodness me, that was quite breathlessness. Just stepping in left, right, and centre. Thank you for that. I would like to do a quick stars and wishes, please. In the order of the character keeper. Stars first. Stephen. Yeah. I've put that down as a wish. The talk. ... Leandro, any stars? That, thank you very much. Moving on, Sabine, any stars? Yeah, I don't know what I've got left in the locker for next time now. Um, Alexi, any stars? Yeah, I'd endorse all of that. I mean, and yeah, Stephen, the way Lanfern rolled with a sudden rash of failures, which she's come nowhere close to that kind of chaos. So definitely, and likewise, Sabine, the way that Mateo, bless him, rolled with some really significant, misunderstandings, stroke failures, take your pick. And I loved, Leandro, that you threw Nathalie out the window. Just, if in doubt, I'm dressed in black. Leap from a window. Duh. And Alexi, you hit the ground running. Thank you for doing the prep before we started playing. All that conversation in the chat was really helpful. So this Thibault was pretty fully formed from the minute we kicked off. So thank you for that. Let me go back round for wishes. I've already got a wish for Lamphane to have the talk with Mateo. Is there anything else, Stephen? Who knows? Who knows? We got much more into this one than I planned. So we'll do our best. Leandro, any wishes? I mean, I kind of thought I'd forced a decision point on her tonight, and then she just leaps out a window. Sabine, any wishes? Well, what I'm wondering is that up till now, Mateo has been kind of pursuing answers from Lamphane. It would now be quite interesting if Mateo is less interested in the talk than Lamphane is, and Lamphane has to pursue Mateo a little bit, perhaps. I haven't forgotten XP. I'm going back to XP. But Alexi, any other wishes? I would go with that entirely. Okay, so let's go round starting with Stephen. Which of your entanglements did you engage with? And you highlighted one of the Isidore one, so you get 2 for that. So I think that's 3 XP. Then Leandro, how does Nathalie fit in terms of entanglements? You'll need a new one now. You do, and I can't. You didn't manage to do away with Alouette's plot, I fear, so I can't give you that one. Sabine, what about Mateo? So you get two for that one. Yeah. That... Yeah, I'm sorry. I was desperately trying to think how to get Jerome into this, but I just couldn't manage it. Okay. And finally, Alexei. Fine. And I'm not sure that Guy de Robertin has quite activated his plot to get you exposed and punished. I think that he knows you're in town now, so he's going to be. You should be looking for trouble, and he's going to provide it. Okay, that was great fun, guys. Thank you. I will now stop the recording. So wave bye bye to the internet.